Well, I'm standing here in front of the Museum of the Beartooths in Columbus, Montana. On 5th and 5th, I think we're in here pretty close. This is a little oasis in this brown countryside. It is green, spotless, well kept, a very nice little museum. We came here a couple days ago and Diane and I walked through and we met Penny, who runs kind of the operation. I asked her if she was curator and she says, well, I'm a little bit of everything actually. It is a really nice museum. There's a little plaque here that talks about an encampment that Lewis and Clark had a canoe camp here, and it's on the Ichkapay Park. Well, right on the edge of town, coming in from the south side at the junction of the Highway 421 and the Yellowstone River, is this local town park called Ichkapay. Well, this is on a historic route that Lewis and Clark and his party actually camped on just south of town. And it looks like this happens, well, this is dated July 18th, 1806, when they came through this country. And just to the side of this Ichkapay sign, there's this huge block of sandstone, which is pretty significant for this country because there was a big sandstone quarry here just outside of Columbus, and there's a memorial attributing to that inside this museum, and a better display even outside of this sandstone quarry. You know, this is significant because it was the supplier of the sandstone that built my shop that I'm working in now. And there are sandstone to the Levering and Smith store where we're trying to put this little gift store. You know, we're calling it kind of a small museum, but compared to this, it's nothing compared to this. And then on the Smith 1906 Southern Hotel, there's also sandstone from this quarry here in Columbus. I knew it was here, but I didn't know just where it was until I came to this museum. So if you go to their website, Museum of the Beartooths in Columbus, Montana, you're going to see a picture that looks a little bit different than it does right now. They have upgraded this in many ways, outside and in as well. It is worth coming to see. Penny told me, and the website I think also states that this building was built in 1992. That was kind of the starting point of this whole museum venture. But you can see to the north side here how well it is kept, just nice, lush and green. It's a very nice first impression when you come to this little Columbus museum. So if this building was put together in 1992 initially, this museum has now been here for 32 years. Pretty impressive. We ended up going through this outside section initially first because this is where Penny has designed for the sheep wagon to go. So she wanted to kind of introduce us to the layout of it. These buildings in front here, one of them has a blacksmith shop in it. It's pretty well set up. Being a blacksmith myself, I recognize all these tools and how it's set up, and I can appreciate the efficiency how this is set up, pretty well thought out. And then in the corner here, there's a spot that you can go put your head through the hole. You've seen those deals before. Well, Diane had to go up and set her head through the woman's hole, of course. So we got a picture of her doing that. This building in the back here is actually where Penny is designed for the sheep wagon to go, along with another sheep wagon. There's a threshing machine. There's original Studebaker farm wagon, really nice shape, original lettering, original paint. Very nice. There's some buggies, a sleigh, and now this sheep wagon that you've watched us rebuild through this last winter. So down the side of this lean-to, there is a attribution to some of the early farming days. It's really nice to see these large murals behind some of these artifacts because it really gives a depth and perception of how these would have fit into the actual day. And there's also a display here regarding the sandstone mine and where it was, and a picture of how it was when it was in operation. My building was first registered at the courthouse in 1898. The Smith building, the hotel, the Southern Hotel, was built in 1906. So this is the height of when this sandstone quarry was operating, And a lot of this sandstone came to the Joliet area, besides many of the buildings here locally. And then toward the back of the fenced off area here, you can see that there's a railroad car that was donated. The website actually states where it came from. I may not have that right in my memory. But all this is open and you can go walk through it and see just what it was like in that day. So one of the nice things about this museum is that it is constantly growing and changing. Penny's talking about how regularly donations are brought in and the display is continually expanding. And the nice part about it is it's all free. There's no admission charge. You can leave a donation if you would like, but she does some special fundraisers and helps supplement the income to keep this functioning. But to find a free museum, that's unique of itself. So as you enter through the front doors, the first thing that you are greeted with is a sign in front, welcome to the museum, of course. And off to the right is a section that is called the Columbus Mercantile. This is their gift store area that has memorabilia, gifts, books about local Montana history, pretty in depth in the little space that it has, very involved and lots of material there. And to the left is her office, and the front of this is the old bank teller's station, it looks like. Very well redone and very nice. You know, at the junction of the Bridger Trail and the Rock Creek is where the location of Joliet is, and that was the Crow Tribe Trail to this part of the country. At one time, this was all part of the Crow Reservation, and you know, things happen like things happen. But south of here, 14, 15 miles, is a little town of Absorki, and they are discovering the foundations to a military encampment that was used to supply the Crow tribe. They are just discovering where that was all at, and they have a little model of what they speculate that probably looked like back in the day. And then as you continue on back, they have a very nice display of an Indian teepee and what that most likely would have looked like. And it's open, you can go in there. And there are some designated areas that depict what the early pioneer family homes would have probably looked like when they settled in this area here. There's a bedroom, there's some living room, there's actually some school desks, and really nice to have a large picture behind it to show an original old photo of all these young children in the school. And then there's another section that shows what maybe a local restaurant would be. I don't know all this history here. You'll have to come see it. We didn't spend the hours and hours that it would take to really absorb all this stuff. There's a lot of material here. In the center of the floor, there's a very nice display of a ranch wagon, roundup wagon, chuck wagon. You saw me build a chuck wagon here a couple years ago. It's very nicely done, fully decked out with harness and accoutrements and poles and tent flies, and it's really worth studying. And then being in that transition era from the horse-drawn to the early automobiles, they have an old car here. You'll have to come see what it is. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was. Very nicely restored. And they have different sections set up to where they show some of the utilities that probably would have been used in the home. A really nice spinning wheel, just odds and ends. It's really quite an assortment of different artifacts. You know, and one thing that I'm learning, and a lot of this was through Penny, as I kind of contemplate a small-scale museum in Joliet, because Joliet has nothing. But Penny showed us some of the updated, modernized files in her record-keeping area where they have files and local history and newspaper and personal letters and all that stuff. Very up-to-date filing system, so it is open and free to anyone who wants to come in and do research. If you are local or just interested in the history of this era, she is welcome to go pull those files and you can look at them again at no charge. So now that we have a pretty good feel where the sheep wagon is going to go, I'm going to go back and load it on a trailer and haul it over. And the owner, his name is Dave as well, is going to come help us.
It looks like one of them Mormons in their carts, you know?
Yep.
We were planning to meet with Penny over here at about 9 o'clock, but the battery in my remote for my winch to pull this thing up onto the trailer went bad, so that set us back another hour to an hour and a half. So we didn't get over here till about 10:30.
Tell him if it's going right in the right place.
We hit the ramp.
That's one. You're on that one too.
But Penny had already been out here maneuvering and shifting different vehicles to make room for this sheep wagon, so she was all ready when we showed up.
Are we backing them in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna pull the tongue off.
Okay. I think he's done this before, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. So
Yes, yeah.
So should we take the stuff out?
Oh, hey Dave.
Because we're gonna back in.
We're gonna back it in. Should we take all the stuff out from the back? Yeah. This is it. This is the original. And the Norwegians, you know, they like red.
Color.
Yeah. And then all this stuff I bought, so it's
Okay.
not original. But it's antique. Oh, that's antique stuff.
Sure.
That's original leather.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
bought that.
Very good. Look at that.
I can't see
That's
it.
good.
Oh. That way, that's good. Push, Dave.
The rope was easy.
this side. You're doing good. You got room all the way to the end now.
I have to go that way again? No, you're here.
Lots of room on this side.
Too close?
No, I think we just gotta take the front end over. And then we'll have Dave look to make sure we don't run into anything.
Good so far. You got about 2 feet. About 6 inches.
That's probably good right there. We just want to lock the brake and.
So this is the building where it's going to reside now. When they are open, they're open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can go through the building at no charge, and all this is opened up as well. You can go through there and view all the wagons, buggies, sleigh, the sheep wagons now, threshing machines. It's really an interesting display and very well done. You know, Diane and I have been in the Joliet area here now for 45 years. We moved in 1979. This building was put together for the purpose of this museum in 1992, and we have never been over here in 32 years. I've caught little bits and pieces that there was a museum over here, but I had no idea that it was to the magnitude and the quality that it is. It is really a nice museum. And it's really odd sometimes how something can be in your own backyard and you never go see it. You think you have to go travel 1,000 miles and be on vacation to go see some interesting things. And it's most likely that way close to where you're at as well. There's probably some interesting things that you go, you know, I've never been there before. I should go do that. Maybe you should go do that. Just like we needed to come over here and see this museum, all because of this sheep wagon. It was well worth the trip, and I would encourage you to come as well. Anyway, I do appreciate coming along on the whole sheep wagon project and to come introduce where it's going to live now. And there's a lot more here to see. Need to come and see it. Thanks for watching.